Quick disclaimer. In the event that you hear odd background noise or we got to end the episode abruptly, it's because there's really bad weather outside and we might have to just stop. The power keeps going in and out. Luckily, the way I have the system set up is just running off the power of my laptop and the lights are currently on right now. So we're going to do the best we can. This might be that legendary mythical short episode that we've been talking about for the last, 12 episodes now?
Yeah, 11? Right.
Yeah. So,
Mother Nature is present and accounted for.
Big time. So, yeah. In the meantime, this is indeed TTRL.
Tara Talks.
And I'm going to pretend to listen.
Ryan listens.
Ryan's going to pretend to listen today.
He does.
So yeah, Shamir Ricey. The name of the show is Ryan Listens, so you can call me Ryan, but my stage name is obviously Ricey. Everybody knows that, but whatever.
And I'm not cool enough to have a stage name.
She totally is. She just doesn't think that she is, but whatever.
Well, without further ado, let's hop into our news.
First of all, how are you feeling? You feeling any better? Because
I am feeling a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I still am not going to say I'm back to 100%.
I'm not either.
Only because I feel like I didn't really have time to rest properly.
I would agree.
So as soon as the doctor gave me meds, it was like, all right, I got to go back to work because I have work trips and I have this and I have that. And so I've just kind of been pushing myself and haven't really given myself the time to rest. Ain't nobody got time for that, basically.
I would agree.
So definitely antibiotics have helped. I have a voice now.
Yeah, you do.
It's still not my normal regular voice. It's almost there though.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling a lot better. Thanks for asking.
So maybe one more week of Tara struggles to talk and Ryan kind of listens.
I can dig that.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, as long as you're feeling better to some degree, like you said, we'll go ahead and keep the show moving without further ado.
So I guess it's just a trend. We're just going to start every episode talking about Beyonce. Here's the thing.
I'm fine with that.
I am not necessarily hardcore Beehive. I'm in the Beehive. I am a Beyonce stan.
But you don't hold an executive committee chair or anything like that.
Right. I'm not obsessed with Beyonce, but I just acknowledge her greatness.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I don't consider myself to be a part of the Hive or anything, but I definitely have a heightened appreciation for Beyonce.
Yeah, I'm not gonna convince somebody or argue with somebody over liking her, but yeah, she's awesome.
Right.
So did you watch the Billboard Music Awards?
Of course not. I don't ever get to watch anything.
Me either. And I first of all, I don't watch award shows anymore. I remember my whole childhood and teenage years were revolved around award shows.
Do you hear me?
VMAs.
We used to throw parties in college to watch the BET Awards or the VMAs or the MTV Awards. All of that. Yes,
all of that. But now it's oh, was that tonight?
Right.
So I didn't watch it, but all on my timeline.
When we were at the radio station, that was the first time I paid attention to award shows again, because I wanted to make sure I posted stuff from the award show on the station's Instagram.
Right.
So that was kind of my return to award shows. But now that we don't really have to do that, I am back to being completely indifferent and sometimes unaware.
Yeah. So I didn't watch it, but all on my timeline, as well as in my messages, apparently Taylor Drift.
I know. Is it bad that I figured out immediately who you're talking about?
Decided to copy Beyonce's Homecoming. Did you see this?
Why?
So, here's the thing. She's never going to admit to it. You see this?
Yeah, I see that.
She's never going to admit to it, but she
blatant disrespect is what that is.
It's a band, and it's an obvious terrible imitation.
Terrible.
They say imitation is the greatest form of flattery, so obviously
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. But I'm loving all of the memes because people are the internet is undefeated already. This just happened tonight. Already people are saying HBC versus PWI or East Compton Clovers versus the Rancho Carne Toros.
Wow.
It's kind of accurate though.
Yeah.
And then
You know she ain't gonna do nothing but just say that it was somebody else's
Somebody
idea.
said it's not homecoming, it's a pep rally. I died.
A middle school pep rally at that.
Right. But yeah, she's gonna deny it. And then I already saw somebody talking about Beyonce didn't invent marching bands. Okay, don't even try it. It's obviously that she's obvious that she's biting. Like it,
Yeah.
the hype is still going. It ain't even died down yet, and you're already trying to copy.
Right. But you know, I mean, wasn't Taylor Drift initially a country singer?
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. So
But yet
I used to like Taylor Drift back when she was actually a country singer, or at least pretending to be one. She had some cute little ditty bops, and I was just like, "Aw." Then when she switched over to pop, it's kind of like Miley. I liked Miley when she was just a little country singing, "I'm just Miley." But then when she switched over, it's just like, okay, no. And it's just really gentrification at its best. So yeah, I have a number of reasons why I don't like Taylor. Not gonna go into detail with all of them because I just had this conversation with somebody the other day. But yeah, she's just annoying.
That's not fair to the listeners, but I'm not gonna put you through that because I kind of don't really care enough to hear it. So
I just had to say that it's not just because she's not country anymore.
Yeah, obviously.
It's a number of personality flaws that I don't.
It's several things that
I don't like about her, but
maybe we'll go into that another day.
Yeah,
because I feel like she's gonna do something terrible, and then we're just gonna want to go in on her. So we'll say that for next week.
Back to Beyonce though.
Right.
Can we talk about this before I let go challenge?
Sure.
Have you been watching them?
I saw the one with the grandma.
That
with the magical knees.
Grandma was getting it. It almost for a second I thought it was somebody pretending to be older.
I did too.
Like I'm like, ain't no way.
Nah, she got a whole Instagram.
And she was like, she knew it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I've been watching them mostly because I mean, for Beyonce to post something on a story is just like magical.
Yeah.
That never happened. So when I saw it, I was like, okay, I gotta watch this, whatever it is. But yeah, they're cute. They're super cute. First of all, family reunion, love it. I feel like we gotta do it at our wedding. And then third of all, I don't know if my knee's that good no more.
Like I'm still a semi-pro athlete. I'm an adult kickball league, so I consider myself a semi-pro athlete. I'm still a semi-pro athlete, and my knees are hurting just watching it. So
right, I'm gonna have to get the modified version.
Yeah, you are.
I can't do the granny was getting it low.
Hey, just start when you go to bar and Pilates and whatever other classes you go to at the gym. Just kind of be a little bit more intense and get your knees back up.
So one of my favorite classes
and
at the gym.
Taking more calcium, maybe, I don't know.
Well, shut up. One of my favorite classes at the gym is called Hip Hop Fusion, and if I can get her, the instructor, if I can get her to make a dance to it or just do the dance in class, then I can get it. Because that's how I learned Sierra's Level Up dance, because we did it in class. Anyway, also, can we talk about Beyonce laying on a bed of Adidas?
But of course.
When she dropped that on her Insta, I was just like, whoa, okay, hello. Because usually when Beyonce does something, she like does it and then disappears, right?
True.
And so I thought, okay, she gave us Homecoming, then she gave us Before I Let Go Challenge. I thought, oh, she about to disappear and just go be with her babies. Cool. I respect that. Then I see this and I'm just like, look at that. Did you see it?
Yeah, I was looking at it right here. That's I'm just like trying to look specifically at the shoes.
Right.
I'm trying to see which ones I have.
Oh, I have any of course you are.
Of course I don't have any. Oh, wait, no.
Did you see this one?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at her Instagram right now.
I love it.
Baller alert said buy stock in Adidas with the little asterisks beside it.
I mean, you might as well at this point. I'll take it.
No, I do see the ones I had in 8th grade. I see those. I see some Stan Smiths here and there. Trying to find the ones I bought you. Nope, I only see like 2 that I have /had. Anyway, I'm not that cool.
In other news, did you hear Headdress Elbow got married?
Who? Why you stealing my?
I'm saying.
Yes, Headdress Idris Elba.
Alba.
Idris Elba. Wait, hold on.
Idris Elba.
That's what I said. Idris Elba. It's not Alba.
It sound like you say elbow.
Yeah, I was about to say Elba, but then all right. So anyway, the story behind Headdress Elbow is back in the day when he first kind of started blowing up a little bit. I was trying to talk to somebody about, I think it was Daddy's Little Girls, and I was like, yeah, it has that one guy in it. And I could not for the life of me think of Idris Elba. The closest I could get to help the person know who I was talking about, I was like Headdress Elbow or something. And then my mom just died laughing at that.
I'm never gonna get over that. I
still say that from time to time because it's a hilarious memory. Not out of disrespect for saying his name wrong, but it's just a hilarious memory of mine. And while we were talking about that, the lights went on and off again. Let me make sure we're still recording, and we are.
That's crazy. We was just sitting here in the dark.
Yeah.
So Idris Elba, who was 2018's sexiest man alive, married model Sabrina, is it Dowry, I think?
I don't know. I missed the caption with her name.
They got married in Morocco.
Oh, nice.
You want to do that?
Not particularly.
Why not?
Because if we do a destination wedding, I haven't thought of a location if we were to do a destination wedding. However, I don't particularly want to do a destination wedding because I kind of want to do it here where we live, so I can run back to the house if I forget something.
That's real.
Because I know you're gonna forget something. I'm gonna have to be the one to go back to get it. Of course.
So when I was younger, early 20s, I always said I would do a destination wedding or get married on a cruise or something. But now that I'm older, I'm kind of I want to make it as convenient for me as possible, which is kind of like what you're saying about being able to run home. Mm-hmm. Also, I want people we have a lot of friends and family that we want to celebrate with. So I want as many people that can make it as possible. And no shade to people who do destination weddings, but when you do that, you just kind of got to know a lot of people aren't going to be able to make it. It becomes
extremely exclusive.
Yeah, because it's so expensive.
Because I can think of about 10 people who would be prepared to attend our destination wedding. Yeah, so we wouldn't even have all of the bridesmaids and groomsmen. I don't even think we'd have all of them.
Right, or our family.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with something more local.
Yeah.
Some sad news.
Oh, no.
John Singleton died.
John Singleton.
At 51.
The legendary film director, John Singleton.
Right. Man, director and writer.
Director, writer, and off go the lights again. That's the 5th time in the last hour that the lights went completely off. I guess the lights heard us talking about John Singleton and wanted to pour one out, so I'll take it. But yeah, passed away after suffering a stroke, if I remember correctly, earlier in April.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood.
Did that change your life?
That Michael Jackson video.
Oh my gosh, that Michael Jackson video was amazing.
He even directed one of the Fast and Furious movies too.
Yep.
I think it was Too Fast. And there goes a bunch of extra sounds in the background, and off go the lights again.
They don't want us to be great.
Yeah, so I was finna pull up that long list of legendary John Singleton films, but then, of course, our Wi-Fi went out.
Well, Poetic Justice.
Poetic Justice, of course.
It was Too Fast, Too Furious.
Too Fast. That's what I thought. Too Fast.
Baby Boy.
Man.
A lot of people didn't like Baby Boy. I liked Baby Boy.
People don't like that movie. But it is a classic.
Yeah,
it is so absolutely a classic.
I get there's some corny moments.
There's a lot of corny moments.
But that's just life. Higher Learning, Four Brothers. Four Brothers was dope.
Man, I want to go see Higher Learning again because I only saw bits and pieces of it as a kid.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. A lot of these movies are so classic that I saw them as a kid, but I want to go back as an adult and watch them and actually pay attention, interpret it, like The Color Purple is a great example.
Right.
Of course, I've seen The Color Purple my whole childhood, but I wasn't actually really paying attention to it. So a few years ago, I read the book and then watched the movie and was like, oh my God, watching it from start to finish.
Start to begin, it didn't take very long.
From start to finish, it was oh my gosh, first of all, long, emotional, rough, deep. So like that's how I am with a lot of John Singleton movies. I want to go back and like actually pay attention. Abduction was a good one. Hustle and Flow.
Hustle and Flow.
Rosewood.
Man. And I was just about to say Rosewood is one of those ones that I want to go back and watch because saw it in the theater as a very
did he do
small
8 Mile?
child. Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
I saw it in.
How did I not know that?
You just saw it for the first time 2 years ago. That's why.
I know, but I mean, I just sat down and actually paid attention to it a few years ago. But of course, I knew about 8 Mile.
It wasn't even a few years. It was last Christmas, actually. Wait, was that this Christmas?
No, it was a couple years ago, or was it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that long ago.
It was not this most. It was what 2017 or something. Anyway,
yeah, let's go with that.
Whatever year we did the B&B, it was that year.
Yeah, so it was 2017 Christmas.
So, I mean, it's just sad.
Yeah. So this is one of those times where you really just gotta. Here's what I want everybody to do. I want everybody to pick any given person, whether it's a family member, a relative, a teacher, a professor, a celebrity or not, a friend, whoever, somebody you admire, and send them a message, give them a call, and tell them what you would say, or type out what you would post on an Instagram post right before the words RIP. Go ahead and say it to them now. Like,
yeah,
just think about it. There's a lot of people showing their appreciation now.
Yeah.
But somebody might need to hear it now.
Exactly.
Somebody might need to hear it before they die, you know? So that whole phrase about give people their flowers while they're still living, this is a really good time to do that.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot going on. There's too many people leaving Earth too soon. So I encourage everyone to do that now.
Absolutely. Well, that wraps up the weekly news in the headlines on your timeline for me. What do you have for obscure news?
All right, so obscure news. Let's get through this pretty quickly because, again, everything's running off the power of the laptop. Now, we should be fine for like another 30 minutes if it doesn't come, if the lights don't come back on. But
just in case.
Naked man wanted for burglarizing a Little League concession stand.
Wait, no. Why are you naked?
I'm going to give you one guess as to what state this was in.
Florida.
Of course.
How did I know?
Because who else? Where else? Gosh. Maybe Mississippi, but Florida. So authorities in Florida asking for the public's help in tracking down a man who they say burglarized a Little League concession stand while wearing nothing more than a ball cap and gloves.
No, why?
Why? I don't know. So deputies say the burglar stole cameras and a cash box with $250 inside and caused about $5,000 in damages.
Dang.
Yeah. It also shows a man take the surveillance video obtained by Tampa Bay Times.
No, thank you.
Also shows the man taking a package of hot dogs.
Oh, no.
There's so many jokes I could make right now, but I'm not going to. I'm going to let y'all just make them in your mind. So, what kind of drugs do you have to be on?
That's what the first thing I was thinking.
To remove your clothing in public where there are small children, not even small children, but children nonetheless, playing sports, having a good time, enjoying their life. And
trying not to be flashed.
Yeah. Don't nobody want to see that. I mean, think of how many kids, but again, what kind of drugs you got to be on? And on top of that, you not only were naked, but you stole money. I hope you were stealing the money to buy clothes because you ain't had no clothes on. So I just can't I can't. Drugs do things to your brain.
They do.
So be careful with that. Next, Easter Bunny hops into a fight on the streets of
Chicago?
Insert city. Guess the state. Just guess the state.
Alabama.
No, but you close.
Mississippi.
Close. You're in the right region.
Georgia.
Getting closer. You're very close now.
South Carolina.
Still kind of close. But
North Carolina.
You were closer.
Kentucky.
You were closer
Tennessee.
with Georgia. You were closer with Georgia.
I need a map.
Yeah, you do.
New York.
Orlando, Florida.
Oh.
Easter Bunny hops.
I figured it couldn't be Florida twice.
And I'm just as surprised that it was Florida twice as you are.
It's always Florida.
It's always Florida. Easter Bunny hops into a fight on the streets of Orlando, Florida. A man and a woman were fighting in Orlando when the bunny suddenly came up and started throwing rabbit punches.
No. Wait, rabbit or rabid?
Rabbit. Either one. Oh wow. The story says he didn't care at all
Oh my gosh.
for his own safety.
Corny.
Carrot, get it? Carrot.
Yep, I got
Carrot
it.
all. Making sure everybody else got it because you can't. It's hard to hear if you just don't read it that way. A fight on the streets of Orlando, Florida, was busted up Sunday thanks to a guy in an Easter bunny costume. Video posted to Instagram shows a man and a woman fighting.
I would love to see that.
Right, but it's
Oh my
obviously
gosh.
not here right now, so we got to look for it. A man and a woman fighting after he bumped into her. So I guess the man bumped into her, and it got real after that. Don't know. Doesn't give very many details as to what happened, but the fight was broken up by a bystander and a bike cop. Apparently, no one was charged in the tussle, but like all I was able to find was a screenshot of the fight so far, and it literally shows a guy in a bunny suit throwing punches. It's quite hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Why?
It's who knows.
And imagine again a kid walking by and being traumatized.
Right. Now, in this case, I can't imagine why I would be in a bunny suit, but if I saw a dude fighting a woman too, I probably would have done the same thing. But yeah, so this is probably less weird. It's probably not the same MO as the guy in Florida for stealing, well, also in Florida for stealing money from a concession stand with no clothes on.
Right.
But still
odd.
Still quite odd.
A sight to be seen.
Yeah. So, that's all I got for that, really.
Alrighty. Well, remember to email us at askttrl@gmail.com. That's askttrl@gmail.com. And you can send us whatever's on your mind. Again, it could be some work drama going on. It could be family drama.
You might just want a second opinion on a decision you made.
Maybe you got some relationship stuff going on that you want to ask us about, or if you want to ask us something about us, as long as it's not super personal, we'll probably answer it.
Yeah, if it is super personal, we just won't read it out loud or answer it. So, but yeah, ask away.
And the first question we have comes from Alex Karev, and the question is, what are your thoughts on using the term African American versus Black? Which do you prefer and why?
All right. I love getting this question. I personally prefer Black because to be African American is to be African with no memory and American with no privilege. Also, you can be African American and be pretty much any other race in the world, because you can be a citizen of Africa. You can be white and have been born in Africa and then move to America and be African American. However, my relatives didn't come from Africa directly. So I got to go way back quite a few generations to find my African relatives. I have yet to be able to do that. Like, I don't know, like we haven't done ancestry.com or whatever it's called. So I don't really know any of that right now. So I just know I'm Black. I know I descend from African heritage, but that's all I got right now. So, I prefer Black for that very reason. Also, a lot of times when people say African American, it sounds like, I don't know what it sounds like. It just sounds like people are trying too hard to be politically correct and dance around a fact there.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I want, if there are any white listeners, I want y'all to know neither one is wrong.
Neither is wrong. Black is okay. It's perfectly okay to say Black.
Because what is wrong is colored.
You cannot say colored.
And the N-word.
Any form of the N-word. I don't care what song you heard it in. I don't care how many Black friends you got. I don't care if I don't care if your best friend is Black. I don't care if you went to school with a Black person and they were your best friend. It does not matter. Any form of the N-word is absolutely wrong coming out of the mouth of a non-Black person.
There's nothing that you can say to me that'll make that right. I don't care if you're just rapping along with the lyrics. No, you skip that.
You skip that word.
You censor yourself. That's not okay. So the N-word is without a doubt wrong. Colored is wrong. And I've had someone say colored in front of me, and I know it was an accident. She meant to say person of color, but it still plucked my nerve, and I addressed it with her because I was like, that's inappropriate. She's like, what are you talking about? And and so
Right.
it's I just want people to know those two are not okay. Personally, I prefer black. I feel like I am a black woman. I think African American was probably more popular in the 90s. But and I know white people probably get annoyed, like y'all keep changing it. But we can.
Yeah.
We can.
It's ours to change. So.
That's what it is. It's just a matter of a lot of things change with the times. Just like y'all don't call yourselves Caucasian, y'all don't identify with that. Most of the time.
And also, you wouldn't go around every white person you see and be like, "Oh, this is an Italian American," or a German American, or a Swedish American.
That's my issue with African American. We're the only ones who get that with no dash, and it's just so much history. It's so incorrect to me. If I was born in Africa, or if my parents were born in Africa and then moved to America, that I would consider African American.
Even my grandparents, because they could tell me stories about what they did in their villages back then.
But because of slavery, it's so far back. Like, yes, I'm a descendant of Africa, but it's so far removed, I don't identify with that.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. Because what I can talk about is my great great grandfather, whose parents were born slaves, yet he was the first or second black sheriff in the state of Arkansas.
So
that's what I can talk about. I can't talk about who was in Africa and what part of Africa they lived in, because that's a massive continent.
So even if I do the Ancestry.com or 23andMe or whatever that is, I still, it'll be cool to find out like where I come from genetically speaking, but I'm still not going to be like repping the Ghanaian flag or whatever, like it ends up, whatever the result ends up being.
Right. I'm not going to act like I was born there, or I moved here when I was 4, or I'm not going to act like my parents were born there, because it's
just not the case. And like you said, I don't know why, but for some reason, African American hits my ear wrong. It sounds almost racist. And I know it's not racist or coming from that vein at all. It's really just somebody trying too hard to be politically correct.
Yeah.
And it's like, you could just say black. Like, it's not that serious.
Again, neither is wrong. African American, perfectly fine. Black, perfectly fine. In most cases, it's probably just better to say black.
I feel like a lot of white people are afraid to say black.
Yeah, and that's fine. I appreciate that.
But I feel like you should be more afraid to say the N-word.
Exactly. Yeah, there's absolutely no circumstance where that's okay. None whatsoever. If a black person says it to a white person, says it referring to a white person, it's still not okay for the white person to repeat. Simple as that.
Yeah. Oh, slavery.
Yeah. So
much history with that.
And that whole thing about, oh, get over it. It happened so long ago.
Really
There's
didn't.
no more racism anymore.
Lies.
You simply are not capable of comprehension if you truly believe that. And you don't have the ability to think for yourself if you believe that. And even if you do have the ability to think for yourself and you believe that, it's because you don't experience anything. You live in a very sectioned, very, very protected section of wherever, but it's absolutely still there. Now, you may be sheltered and you may not see it. You may not see it happen. You might not have any black friends. You might be in a town where there's like 12 black people and you never see any of them, but it's absolutely still a thing. So it's one thing you cannot do is tell me about my experiences that you haven't lived. So again, African American, perfectly fine. Black, perfectly fine. I personally prefer black. I don't describe myself as African American. I don't not identify that way, but I simply say black.
Yep. And again, that's just our opinion. There may be other black people who feel differently.
Now, if you're in a workplace or like a professional setting and you choose to say African American just to sound, a bit more professional, also perfectly fine. But even in those professional settings, when I'm at work or anything related to my career, I would just say black.
You know what else hits the ear wrong?
What?
Blacks.
Yeah,
When white people
don't say the blacks.
The blacks. I'm like, whoa!
It's
did
black
you just
people.
Call me
It's black people.
Yeah.
Because we are still people.
Yeah. That's one thing I would say. Adding that S just changes everything.
It does.
Just like the difference between colored and people of color.
Exactly.
It's just changes everything. Words mean
Just-
things.
The
Words matter.
little bit of additional effort makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
And I guarantee you have time to say to make the distinction. I promise you have time. I promise you do.
So along that same train of thought, our next question is from Derek Shepard, and the question,
Somebody's been watching Grays.
of course, I'm watching Grace.
Still.
The question is, what are Black stereotypes that don't fit you? For example, if you don't like watermelon. Well, thank you for that question, Derek. I love watermelon.
LOL at your hiccups.
One.
For the record, I'm going to leave that one in there, but I'll probably cut the rest of them out.
Why? So one Black stereotype that doesn't fit me, I hate chitlins.
Okay, so...
And when I say I hate chitlins, no, I've never tried them. I don't need to try them. I smell them.
Yeah. And if you know what they are, it's very easy to not want to try them. So I had them one time, literally for the experience. I didn't grow up around chitlins like a lot of Black people will tell you they did. Because all I grew up hearing was like, hey, man, tell him chitlins is good if you put hot sauce on them. I'm like, I wouldn't know. Like, when I was a kid, I thought people were saying chili. I'm like, I'm thinking, okay,
difference.
are they just saying chili wrong? Now, granted, let me go ahead and say this. I did grow up with... in a family where I was taught to speak proper regardless of my color. So a lot of times I was made fun of. Oh, there's one. Yeah. I was kind of made fun of for, quote, talking proper.
You know what? That's a Black stereotype that doesn't fit me too. I never could really get, I guess, the comfortable slang of like our peers.
Yeah. See, I was
always
capable.
got made fun of.
I was
for
capable of
the way I
doing both.
speak.
But yeah, I basically was required to learn to do everything properly first
Yeah.
before I came in the house saying what up instead of what's up. Yeah. You
Yeah.
feel me?
If anything, whatever
just an
slang
example.
I do have came from like me being older.
Yeah.
But when
So
I was
true.
a kid, no, no way.
Yeah. I remember one time you tried to say something and it didn't work. I can't remember. I don't remember.
Back to food.
Back to food.
In addition to chitlins, I don't eat hog maws, pig feet. I don't eat crackling.
Well, crackling's isn't really a Black thing, but yeah.
It is. It's a country thing.
It's a country thing, yeah.
What's it called for real?
Pork rinds.
Pork rinds.
Pork rinds and cracklings are two different things.
I
though.
know.
Yeah.
know. Oh, I knew you was gonna get me on that.
Chicharrones.
Chicharrones. What else do I not eat? I don't really do Kool-Aid. Like when I was a kid, we drank Kool-Aid, but at some point my mom got on a health kick and we switched to Crystal Light. so I kind of like got out of that because, you know, like growing up, Kool-Aid, you just pour the sugar and just keep
Yeah.
pouring. And so I did grew up.
See, there you go.
I grew up with that, but now I can't do it. What else? It's a lot of stuff that like is allegedly, I guess, Black food that I don't mess with. But mostly chitlins is the main one. But of course, I always had that random aunt or uncle that had to have it. So I grew up around it. I just never tried it.
I think I was like 14 or no, I was older. I was like 15 or 16, maybe the first time I actually was around them to try them. And if I was around them, I didn't know because I was a kid, and they, you know, when you at the cookout, they get the kids hot dogs. Not even hot dog, weenies. You just get that. You get the basic stuff. You know, you don't really get access to the ribs and the what else? The brisket and all the other cool stuff at a barbecue. You just get the hot dogs and the mac and cheese. But that's it.
You know what else is a Black stereotype? I guess mine is all food. Okay,
That's fine.
I don't eat hot Cheetos or Takis
So here's the deal with hot Cheetos with me. I think I was in the 8th grade when I started forcing myself to eat hot Cheetos.
because that's when everybody was eating them when we were in middle school.
When we were in middle school. And this was kind of dating ourselves here, but here we are, 2002, 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hot Cheetos and the Sprite remix. If you didn't have that,
Yep.
if you weren't walking around with Hot Cheetos and the Sprite remix, you simply were not cool.
See, I just had Cheetos and a Sprite.
You just had regular Cheetos. Yeah, so that's when I started forcing myself to eat hot Cheetos because I wanted to. Because it was always the certain type of girl that I had a crush on, and she wasn't feeling me because I was corny.
You were corny,
and I spoke properly. Mm-hmm. Ew, you talk proper. So yeah, that was the hot Cheetos and the Sprite remix was my defense.
What's another black stereotype that we don't fit? I'ma say like the whole deadbeat dad thing, because even though I'm a child of divorce, my dad was very, very active and very involved in my childhood, in my life, to the point where I actually had someone say to me, "You don't seem like a child of divorce," and I'm like, "Wait, what does that even mean?" like a lot of people have said to me they thought that I came from a 2-parent home. I'm like, okay, well, I guess my dad's plan worked, to just like stay involved. But so that would be one I would say I don't necessarily fall into.
Yeah, I was primarily raised by my grandmother, or at least in the first few years of my life, I was raised by my grandmother because my parents did have me kind of young. My mom was in college, my dad was in the military. Again, my dad wasn't in the house, but he was involved.
Right.
So, did the best he could with what he had. My dad was absolutely not perfect, but he's doing the best he can, and I appreciate that. So yeah, I know my dad. People, like I had a couple kids who basically, I think we were in like high school or middle school or something like that. This one white kid tried to fight me, and of course, the first thing he does is pull out that N-word, and I was just like, really? Second thing he does, at least I know my dad. I was like, oh, you talking about Thomas Christopher Percy? That guy? The guy who I'm kind of named after? But yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, I don't know him. Never seen him before in my life. Matter of fact, this watch I got on, this didn't come from him. So, whatever, kid. And of course, again, I don't advocate for violence, but
Lord have mercy.
When he kept throwing that one word around, I had to go ahead and I was really trying to get his brother, because I was real cool with his brother. And his brother was trying to shut him up. I was like, bro, please shut him up, please, because I don't want to have to do it. Anyway, yeah.
I'm trying to think of another one. I guess
I knocked him out.
Wow. I'm gonna say I wasn't raised in the hood.
You were not.
Cause
neither was I.
But like,
now we didn't grow up in the suburbs.
Exactly. We didn't always have. And the funny thing about my childhood is I didn't realize until we were older the things that we didn't have, because my mom, you wouldn't know. But yeah, all the stuff I thought she was like making fun and getting creative, I was like, oh, that was a cheap meal. Oh, okay. I thought that was a fun night. Like, oh, we're going to mix it up. Tonight, we're going to have Frito pies. Oh, yay. And then now I realize, oh, that is cheap. Or like, oh, we're just going to do soup and sandwich, grilled cheese. Like, oh, yay, fun meal. Now I'm like, that's my cheap meal.
Yeah. And it's crazy how similar your and my upbringings were, because neither one of our parents just had money like that. We didn't grow up in the suburbs, but we were never hungry.
Right.
We ain't
never
want for nothing.
Without.
Always had clothes. Now, in my personal experience, there was a couple times where a couple situations similar to our current circumstances, but it wasn't because of the storm.
Right.
But again, never went without, was never hungry. I would absolutely say that. My mom did an amazing job. I didn't realize, I give my mama so much credit for this right now, because I didn't realize the true circumstances, what they were, until I was like 17. And I was like, man, how am I about to go to college?
Right. Black mothers are everything.
Superheroes, like, for real.
What's another black stereotype?
Man, had you not asked,
I know, I probably could have thought of some.
I could have been spitting them out. Yeah, I can't really think of anything. Mm-hmm. Did you hear somebody knocking?
No.
Okay. I'm trying to make sure I wasn't tripping. I like to be places early.
Here's the thing. For me, it depends on what it is.
Yeah.
So I can be on CP time if it comes to like something that I know is not a big deal, or like it's no specific start time. But if it's something that like, okay, we're going to this event or whatever, then I get anxious. I get anxiety about being there on time. I'm like, okay, we need to leave in 10 minutes. We got to be there in 5 minutes. Like, okay, it's 10 minutes away. Like, I get like that to the point where I do not like being late in terms of like typical CP time on stuff that we actually have to be at on time. But I do have my moments where I'm like, we'll be all right.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. You know, this whole conversation just makes me like think back to you know, I had like family members who did like live kind of in the hood, in that neighborhood where the hood was, but they weren't like, you know, necessarily hood either. But you know, however you choose to define that. But yeah, I remember going outside and it was always this one lady who, if you go to her house, depending on what time it was, and you had like basically loose like 35 cents, you get a pickle and a honey bun. It was the candy lady. I forgot what the lady was called, like, or what her actual name was, but everybody called her the candy lady. Used to like go down to her house, knock on the door. She had all of this stuff. She had like a little store. You could just go up on the porch, knock on the door, and then she come out. Basically, it was just to make sure the kids had, you know, snacks for the low that they could afford. That was kind of cool. I can't really think of anything else after that. I guess we don't have this conversation much.
We don't. So I guess we'll wrap that up.
Yeah.
I hope that answered your question, Derek.
Maybe we'll revisit that.
Yeah, we certainly can. Remember to send us your questions to askttrl@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. And we're going to wrap up the show with our love life advice of the week. Just a quick tip for those of you who got a bae or want a bae, or
it's really going to be a short episode.
Need a bae. Is it going to be short?
Yeah, we're only at like 42 minutes right now.
That's not short.
Compared to what it normally is, like 50 plus.
All right.
Yeah.
So my quick tip for this week is to find other success stories. And what I mean by that is find other couples who are happily married, who've done it well, who you can just kick it with, just talk to, like interview them, ask about their love story, you know, and like that's very important to me because like I said, I'm a child of divorce. I don't want to ever get a divorce. This wedding that we're planning right now, I plan on being my one and only. So good luck.
Yeah, you good luck.
Cause this is it. Ain't no getting out of this. So
I said that from jump.
So, you know, that's important to me to make sure that we are, you know, finding good examples and that we know how to be equipped for good times and bad and how to go the long haul on that. You know, if you're trying to do well with your finances, you're going to seek out an expert who, you know, maybe is a millionaire. If you're trying to lose weight, you're going to get a personal trainer, whatever the case may be. So I look at it the same way with your love life, which is why I love that documentary Black Love on OWN.
Oh, yeah.
That is because it's just so cool to like see other couples, and some are celebrities, some are not. It's so cool to kind of see them tell their story and be like, wow, okay, we've been through something like that too. Or like, wow.
Yeah, I thought that was just us.
I thought that was just us. Like, it's so dope to see, like, especially the celebrities. I mean, you can't tell me we're not Grant Hill and Tamia. Like,
you feel me?
That is so dope. And so we actually went to lunch with our pastor and first lady this past weekend after church, and 2 other young couples our age. And it was just so nice just to like sit and talk with them, like no pressure, nothing major, super low key. But I just really value that because, you know, they are happily married, and I'm not saying they're perfect. They wouldn't say they are either, but it's so cool to see, okay, this is what is possible.
Yeah, I love the fact that our church is led by real humans that are actual people who do not claim to be perfect. And our church is full of the same thing. People who do not claim to be perfect and know that they're not perfect, but that they work towards being, the best type of people they can be. And that's one thing I can absolutely appreciate, is the fact that, you get there's always that one stereotype about pastors being, and first ladies specifically being all sanctified and all of that.
Right. Holier than thou.
Right. The whole holier than thou thing is just like so played out. Just stop that. Just let that go. And be a person. Be an actual human.
The other thing that I love about our church is full of a lot of like really strong couples.
Oh yeah.
When I was growing up, it wasn't no men in the church.
When I was growing up, it was like 7 men in the church.
Right. It was the musician,
40-something
the
women.
drummer, the pastor, and like a few old deacons.
See, we had a pastor and like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deacons, and then that was it.
It wasn't no like young or middle-aged men that were like on fire for God.
Right.
It
At least not in my church.
Yeah. And the thing is like, that's so wonderful to see, like, okay, we have a strong men's ministry, and to know that, okay, there are a lot of couples in our church that are been together 10, 20, 30, 40 years and that are still successful.
Right. Yeah, but that's another thing I can absolutely appreciate. The fact that our church isn't like one of those mega churches and nothing like that. But it's big enough for it to be, sort of a big church. But at the same time, it's still got that small church feeling where everybody, you might not know everybody's name, but you know faces, and everybody's super friendly. Everybody will come say hi to you real quick. People ain't all in your business, which is the best part about our church. It's like, if there is like drama and mess going on, we have no idea about it. And we're involved in our church. So we would know if there was. And if it is, people are keeping it to themselves, and I absolutely love that. So yeah.
I'm looking to couples.
You need relationship mentors the same way you need career mentors.
So true.
Because your relationship, when you're planning on entering a marriage, that marriage is basically a legally binding contract. That marriage license, that's what that does. And you invest you combine your finances, and the things that you invest in are going to benefit or otherwise, not benefit the both of you. So these are things that you have to be smart about, and you're gonna need help navigating those areas. So find an older couple to look up to. Go ahead.
And you don't know everything.
You don't know.
See, that's the wonderful thing I think is about our relationship, is when we hit that milestone, we hit that point where we were like, we have now been together longer than we've been with anyone else.
Oh yeah, that was
so weird. Like, when you first started dating, it's like, oh yay. But then once we had been together however many years, it was like, I've never been with anybody this long. How are we still together and haven't broke up yet?
For me, it was like a year and a month.
Yeah.
So it didn't take long for me.
So it's just like, that's I guess another reminder that we don't necessarily have it all figured out, and we're not necessarily experts in it. While I think we are very good in managing our relationship and communicating and all of that jazz, but we're definitely not pros, and we definitely always need sound advice.
Absolutely. Because there's going to be good times and there's going to be bad times, and you're going to want somebody to keep it real with you. Yeah. So find somebody, find some OGs. That's why I tell people all the time, listen to the OGs.
Absolutely. Like, make life easier for yourself. Right. Like, a lot of my lessons I learned from my older sister doing it the wrong way. Yeah. Because that's just the type of kid I am. Like, oh, that didn't work for her, let me not do that. So, like, my parents always said they wanted a better life for me. I took everything my dad did and basically did the opposite. Yeah. So or found my own way to do it, That's why I'm really like, I need somebody to come plan this wedding for me, because I kind of don't care. I'm really looking forward to premarital counseling and the marriage. But yeah, I'm super excited about the wedding, and I have all these like vague ideas, but all the little details are overwhelming me. And I just want to say shout out to everyone who keeps asking me if I pick the date. You're the best. I appreciate that. There was no sarcasm in that at all. So yeah, with that said, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at thisisttrl. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at THERY_C. Follow me on Twitter and IG, tcar_examiner, so you can monitor my super dull and boring life.
She is a bit dull and boring, but I love her anyway.
What did you want me to like?
I just thought you were gonna say something. I thought you were
I
gonna.
don't care. I'm not offended by that.
You shouldn't be, because it's absolutely true.
It is the truth, and you knew this already. So,
But yeah, I guess that pretty much wraps it up. Still,
thanks for sticking with
Right at
us.
50
Thanks
minutes.
for listening. We are literally sitting here in the dark.
in the dark.
So, I'm sure y'all tired of us talking about our commitment, but I'm just gonna keep talking about it because I'm surprising myself. You know, I'm trying to start consistency and good habits.
It was so easy to be like, yeah, let's not do the show tonight because the power's out.
Right.
But it
And
came
when the
back on.
party is out, when the power is out and it's raining, what do you want to do? Sleep, right?
Sleep.
But yeah, I just want to say shout out to myself for going to 6 a.m. bar twice this week.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm tempted to go on Friday. I don't know if I want to do it.
Do
but
it.
I'm tempted.
If you don't do it for yourself, do it so you can bring me a smoothie and have it waiting for me when I wake up.
See, and that's the thing.
And I love you for
That
that.
is the thing. When I go to 6 a.m. bar class, to me, I feel like if I got up and did that, then I have to treat myself, right? And so I treat myself to a smoothie. And so if I'm getting a smoothie, I'm such a great, I almost said girlfriend. I'm such a great fiance that I feel obligated to get you a smoothie as well. Even if you're not up yet, I put it in the fridge, just waiting on you whenever you're ready. And that's going to be expensive if I do this 3 times a week. So we're going to have
I
to.
wish they just had a smaller size.
I do too,
I
but
feel like they do because
they don't. That's
they
the
should.
only size. No, it's the
can't
only
be.
size. It is. Trust me.
But okay, because they cater smaller versions of it. Just bring that up to them.
That's
one
a
day, see what
kid's.
happens.
It's a kid size. So for that they do for catering. Anyway, the point is, yeah, consistency in workouts, consistency in podcasts, just knocking out all these goals. That was random, but we were wrapping up the show. So have a great week, guys.
Peace.
Go be great.
We still ain't got no lights.